I don't know where to start. This is the second intro. You're gonna see my first one in a minute from now, but I just I'm a little mad. I'm not mad. I'm gonna yesterday I recorded 2 hours. 2 hours worth of gameplay, right? I recorded all my stuff and then I went into OBS and then I was like, why does it say 16 minutes? Why did it say 16 minutes? I think it might have been paused for most of it because when I went back into OBS, it recorded like a good almost 16 minutes and then the very last couple seconds where I stopped the video. So I stopped streaming, or not streaming, I stopped recording it and I went to my bed and I'm not gonna lie, I got so mad. I was gonna cry. I didn't cry, but I still kind of want I'm a little upset. But I think it's quite reasonable. But I was quite mad that I wanted to cry yesterday. It was kind of funny. It wasn't really, but I'm going to go back over 2 hours worth from the load, because if you see these, no, you don't. We're not there yet. I'm like right here. This is where I was. So I'm gonna play off the first 16 minutes that happened, and then I'm gonna reread from then on. But I'm going to do it in an hour interval. So I'm gonna record an hour for now, and then I'm gonna wait a little bit to catch my breath because I got pretty winded from you'll see in a little bit, but yeah, I got quite winded, so I'm gonna wait like an hour in between recording from now and then till later when I've got my breath, because that was quite the amount we lost. But I'll start it now. I'll let you watch. Hello everyone, and good morning or afternoon. I woke up kind of late today. I said I was gonna make an early post, but then okay. Today we played more Operation Eventide. I'm awake. I'm awake now, I think. But let's start. Wrong start. Okay. Whoopsie. Okay, maybe I'm not all awake yet, but we're right here. The path back to Miriam's house was easier than I'd have liked. I opened her front door, bracing for reprimanded for my artless escape, but I'm caught off guard for an entirely different way. Oh, by the way, I mean, you'll see this now, but this is gonna be a 2-hour video, like I said. So, get comfy. Entirely in a different way. To Mimi's. She's moved, so she was definitely awake at some point, but not anymore. Her face is gently illuminated in blue from the open laptop. I step around her as quietly as I can, unabashedly sticking my nose into her work. The screen hasn't gone dark, so she must have been awake only a few minutes ago. She's got a text editor open. I don't know much about this stuff, but I'm assuming she was coding something, since all I can scout out are some multicolored text strings. Upon closer inspection, there's another distinct window open at the bottom of the screen. Some kind of footnote that reads, consequent to the events, every subject exposed to G613 have been kept under surveillance since the reaction. Apart from the subject Nexus, we just saw Nexus a little bit ago. Well, the last episode, but the patients that were there recorded to take part of in the testing of G613 no longer have any traces of the enzyme in their bodies. It is unlikely that their specific reaction was caused by the chance. Sorry. I always read okay, say I'm right here, right? I kind of read ahead, but not really. I'm just I try to read fast, or I don't try to read fast, but I talk fast. So I'm I need to slow down. But the host had a certain compatibility with the subject's CPI that caused the solo reaction. It is most likely that the gene's half-life ended around or at the same time in another or other patients as initial reaction of the subject in question. Curing AN from the phenomenon that occurred due to the G613 vaccine will require a replication of the remote extraction experimentation on sub-G. I can't make heads or tails of it yet, but I repeatedly scan over what I can see, trying to salvage any meaning over what I had just read. Just as I peer into or 1 inch closer, Miriam's head shifts slightly, and my heart skips a beat. There's the ink on her cheek from her paper. Okay, sorry. From her paper pillow she was resting on before. I can't stop staring. She's really something. Something pathetic. I've returned it, though. I walked around for who knows how long until I couldn't even muster enough pride to leave this place for good. I was offered a home, a bed at least. Even with what little remains of me, a few people are expecting me to live. Good night then, new life. Pet, pet, pet. Eventide. The monsoon is drawing near, where the innocent becomes beast, and feast on the ugliest tips of the sky. You have given me life to fill my weakness, but I cannot divest my strength any longer. The body that was your champion, my Eventide, died long ago. So, as my final plea to you, forsaken mother, bring the rain and let it pour over eternity. What's going on here? Cute. Day 2. Ah, okay, I see now. I saw in the gallery there were days. I believe it goes up to 6. Could be wrong. Building blocks of your body are foods you eat. They elicit beauty and power, you see. So, it's of utmost importance that we select the wholesome ingredients for breakfast now. Good thinking. I have one question, though. Please. Yummy. What does any of this have to do with what you're doing now? I take you as a M kind of gal. Would I be mistaken? Depends on who's asking. S is good, too. Oh, what? There's no S. Only C, Y, M, and B. What are you on about? I'm asking which color ink cartridge you prefer. I need a 10 micrometer diameter nozzle for the transfiguration of the ventricles in your right arm. There's ways to be resourceful and use high quality parts. I mean, ingredients. You've completely lost me. Isn't the most important thing to know when living with someone is to understand their tastes? You should know poor taste. It's right at the bottom of my list. No need to get your diodes in twist. I'm only playing. Freak. You get all your gags out of your system. I feel like I had some kind of consolidating meditation last night about how I should be grateful. Whatever I said, I take it all back. Offered a home, my ass, there's nothing to be grateful for. Anyways, there's still no net to gain of cleanliness since last night, although it vexes me how much different I look than yesterday. Everything in the room seems to have either rotated positions or been replaced with another object altogether. Hey, where's your shower? Oh, that's right. You don't really need to. The resin and PVC mesh of your body doesn't have the same mechanics of perspiration, nor is it liable to collect grime as an organic epidermis would. The body's cooling system is part of the filtration process. Well, my hair is the same though, right? I should at least wash that. Sure, the shower's in the bathroom over there. Blah. The nasty hiccup. Cool, thanks. Why are you following me? You'll need my help to make sure no water gets in the prototype. Extended exposure could cause leakage into the interval drivers, or internal. My head is already starting to hurt. Wasn't I literally surrounded in water for 5 years? That was a compound of inert chemicals bioengineered for the preserve. You know what? I changed my mind. Well, now that you're awake, we should prepare for your injection. After that, I think it'll be good to get the physical exam out of the way. Before, however, there's some pre-exam questions I'd like to go over with you. May I? Sure, go for it. Did you experience any cramping in your legs with the past day? Yeah, I actually just uncrossed my legs because whenever I play, I sit crisscross applesauce, you know. But damn, that was starting to hurt. So, sorry if I read it not as good. I don't know why it's a thing, but I can read better when I have like both legs crossed. I don't I don't know. You know. Nope. Nothing? Yep. Nuh-uh. Any brain fogginess or hallucinations? Maybe. Hell no. Okay, did you experience any shortness of breath last night? For instance, when climbing the stairs? Dunno. Are you telling me the truth? Fuck you. Do you want to know my deepest, darkest secret or my favorite position next? Give me a break. What? About this morning? Any lingering soreness or headache? No. Okay. Where did you go last night? Nowhere. Really? Yeah, I went to... I went right to Betty Bye, honk shoe, me, all that. For the love of... How would you have gotten back into the house if I hadn't left the door unlocked for you? What, you just gonna jump back through the window? Climb up the wall? Damn, when she's right, she's right. I can't believe you. If we jump out of the window like that, and even a stranger, how did I overlook that possibility? I did get away with it, though. Besides the point, you must have not gone that far, because I was still able to track your vitals. You do that? It's necessary for someone in your condition. I would have been more worried, but the readings showed that you were so calm, seriously. Okay, sorry. Seriously, there were higher stress readings while you were unconscious in the tank. So, I'm interested in what you were doing. I was walking. Where? You can track my brain waves from miles away, but you can't track my location? If I had any intention of letting you stroll free in the first place, maybe I would have installed something. What do you think would have happened if someone saw something? I'm not asking for this to pry or belittle you. This is information that may affect the results of the stress test, and of its utmost importance that the prototype stays out of harm's way. Keep your drills on, lady. If you're so afraid of someone seeing your Geneva Convention violations, then just lock me up again already. Did I read that weird? It just locked me up again already. Alright. Well, whatever. As long as you're here now, I suppose that's all for the pre-exam questions. That's it. I don't need an acute detailing of what happened. Just if anything health-related came up, I have your recorded medical history on file. And it's not that I need to inquire about your diet or other behaviors in the last 2 hours. Sweet. So, holy shit. Okay, good thing I had my hand off the mouse, or else you would have seen me go. Oh, good morning, Adele. Hey, big girl. How do you sleep? Did you get it all? Alright, did you get it all out this morning? Let's do something fun today. I want to show you around town. I can show you the inside of my house, too. Oh, there's this new restaurant that opened up. I wanted to try and... Celia, there's lots of things I need to get done today. There's examinations and tests I'll need for her. You two can go out later. Examinations? How come? Adele looks perfectly fine to me. That too, though. What can I say? Anyone be delighted to be greeted by the face of a beautiful woman like yourself, first thing in the morning. Oh, you and your flattery. You know, Adele. Once you're discharged, I'd love to have you for breakfast too. What I'd give for that. Pardon me, I'm sure you two have a lot to catch up on. Make yourself at home, Celia. I'm in no rush at present. Feel another hiccup. I instinctively went to the clear space, but I can't tell if I'm overstepping boundaries by moving things out of the way, or I'm being too polite by cleaning a house that's not mine. Either way, we find a way to sit down at Miriam's coffee table. You don't have to worry about moving anything, Adele. She won't mind. I don't imagine she would, but even though she might be a contender for the worst host in the world, I'm still a guest here. She's not awful. You'll come to find, though. I mean, she could have at least offered us a coffee or something. Oh, oops. I cleared my throat. I mean. So, tell me, what have you been up to all this time? Oh, you know, this and that. No, I don't. 5 years is a long time for, this and that. Your fault for asking such a skin-deep question. I guess so. She smiles, not truly offended. I don't really know where to begin, is all. I've been thinking about what to tell you first, all night in fact. Oh? But I wanted to tell you about how I went to the beach with Miriam last summer. It was so nice, I fell asleep in the sand and the sun felt so good, I almost drowned when time came in. Sounds like fun. So besides your trip last summer, we picked up rocks and saw a bunch of crabs, and I put a few in Miriam's bag to scare her, but I forgot I did until hours later when she found them in her shorts. That's pretty cruel. It's okay. You returned them back to the beach. You really haven't gotten any less I'm still learning. She's just telling stories about her vacation. I'm sure she's genuinely excited to share them with me, but I don't care the same enthusiasm. That's not exactly what I wanted to hear. So when my eyes reach her hand, so that I catch myself suspecting that she's deliberately withholding things from me. Her nails are short. They always were, for no particular reason, and there's no ring. What a stupid thought. 5 years of her adulthood have passed. I can't be bitter about that. Even if something like that did happen, it'd be better that she moved on. Move on. I got no business prying for her private life anymore. She doesn't want to introduce me to her other friends. That's fine by me. That was last year. We swore we'd do it again, but this year she disappeared for the whole summer. I tried calling countless times. I even showed up at her house. She told me she had a bunch of work that piled up suddenly, so okay, so it was right here that it happened. So, it sucks that I can't get that back because I've read pretty far and I won't have the same reaction, but I'm going to read it again like I do. Well, not like a fake reaction, but I still thought it was silly. Tried countless times. Alright, hold on, we need to focus. It's my first time. It's my first time reading today. It's not, kinda. I tried countless times. Yeah, sure. I even showed up at her house. She told me she had a bunch of work that piled up suddenly, so I left her to it. The next time we talked was yesterday afternoon. Maybe she does want to talk about her friend, but why is one trip so significant? About that? Why is she like that? I did this one last time, so I'm gonna do it again. I don't know. Like what? I don't know. Not really doctor/scientist, smart like whatsoever. It's kind of impossible to take anything she says seriously. That's just what she's like, I guess. She can be serious when she needs to be, I'm sure. I mean, she almost looked like a doctor before, but she had the entire wardrobe changed after releasing me. Huh? What was she wearing before? Now that you mention it, I can't really recall it well, actually. It wasn't much, though, so it hasn't changed. Lab coat, glasses, garter, something. Sorry, this is just for myself. I have a hard time reading when I hear things in my ear, but I'll keep it up still. Ah, well, I can't imagine you actually find issue in how she dresses. I'm not trying to put my square peg in a round hole, if that's what you're implying. She laughs. Ha ha ha. Well, either way, she's just like that because she wants to be. You guys actually have a lot in common. Very few times in my life have I ever felt more insulted. So, you've been here before? She always wipes her ass with this place. Just about. She flips over a graveyard magazines that hide the imagery in the front on the front from me. She notices the backside is even worse and slides it underneath the table. Everybody's got their own way of making a home. Yeah. Is something wrong? I'm wondering what brought upon this mindset. That doesn't really sound like you. You think so? Yeah, remember when you came to my room and you threw everything I left on the floor at my head? That's pretty embarrassing. I was so adamant in getting everyone involved too. Two 12-year-olds trying to beat each other to death with brooms. I don't know if anyone could have handled the situation better. It was a good thing Lucy stepped in. We've always gotten into fights about the silliest things, didn't we? I feel a kick to my stomach. You know, after our conversation that day... Yeah? It's strange. There was so many things I wish I could have said back then. Now I actually have the chance to, and I can't manage to come up with anything. As soon as he left, I think I knew that would be the last time we'd ever speak. But still, a part of me was kind of waiting for you to come back. This was a thing in the last part, but if I shake my mouse like this, I probably got a hiccup. Not even probably, I'm gonna hiccup. So, sorry, just say that again. But even until now, I haven't fully processed it, you know. You waited for me? Yeah, I stayed in my room for a while. I never really had a reason to keep track of time, but after it was over, it was like it stopped altogether. To tell you the truth, I haven't really accomplished anything in this last few years. Sure you have. You're free to do whatever you like, right? I stand by everything I said that day, Adele. I still do now. But I guess it was you, or I guess as it was you said, I kind of just retired, but it feels like so long ago now. I can't really say much. I moved here, I guess. I've been doing community service every now and then. I bought a really nice refrigerator. I'm happy for you. Did you know it takes so long to move into a house? Weren't we lucked out though? Miriam and I were both able to find places right before the prices surged. Wait, did you two move here together? Well, not exactly. It's a little more complicated than that. Celia smiles and her gaze moves from my face to something more moving behind me. She's more like my physics. Damn it, I couldn't read it. Physician. I know how to say this word, but I can't say it right. I just don't know. It's not physician. There's no way. No, I know it's not physician. It's physician. I just can't say it. Physician. Probably. I'm sorry. Revolutionary roboticist, geneticist, biomedical engineer, neurologist, and general practitioner too. Isn't there anything I can't do? Gracefully end our conversation. Yeah, that was pretty lame, Miriam. It feels like we should be chewing on the fat of plenty of things. So how come the conversation keeps circling around back to bimbo? Discard is over here. Looks like I ran out of time to get my head around why I've got such a bad feeling. Not that I can even begin to describe it. She's acting this way because she's grown, for the better likely, not because she's lying. It'd just be in poor taste to think otherwise. Miriam, I was telling Adele about her trip last summer. I swear I was in this fat at reading last time. This is a little warm up. Really? No, I said it like that. I said warm up. That's still a warm up. Really? Did you tell her about all the horrifying ways you managed to get my hair wet? We should all go out there together one day. Is she doing this on purpose? Well then, it's about time for Adele's injection. Miriam interjects, possibly before Celia realizes what she said. Injection? Do we have to do it now? It's been roughly 12 hours since the last. There's risk involved with spacing them out too much longer. Whatever you say, crab ass. Shiny. Ah. Okay, Adele, hold still. Alrighty. Hey, you needed to calm down. There's nothing weird about this. It will only hurt for a second, okay? Why is she telling me this now? Got it. What indecency, Miriam. You're so lewd. Oh, wow. Celia, be quiet. You're just so, is it really okay for you to do something like this? Quit screaming. I need to focus. Ooh. What? Adele Snape. It's not fair. Celia runs out of the front door. Why are you hesitating again? It's strange is all. What is? I mean, earlier I was thinking that I put up the applicators in the bag over here, or over there, but it was empty. I mean, this one didn't have a label on it, so it's probably the last one I meant to grab, right? Oh well, I can't make a cake without breaking a few eggs. Ah! Oh, now. Not again. Just hold still. No, besides, you're supposed to say that after you make the mistake, not exactly helping your case here. But if you don't get your injection, your functions will likely cease to work. I don't care. Whatever it is, it's better than dealing with your crazy ass. I was home alone yesterday, so it's way easier to read out loud. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, it worked. Of course it did. Of course. You were just trying to distract me again, right? That's right. Can't tell what expression Celia is making at the moment. I'd look if I had the courage. Here we are. So, this is what you did with your garage. Some remodel. I honestly was expecting some kind of 13-level elevator to reach this place, but it really was just a half flight of stairs out of the kitchen door. Before we begin, I'd like to inform you on what's going on. I'm sure you've done physical exams before, but this will be an in-depth evaluation on several matters. You have the right to be informed too, Celia. Oh, okay. Well, I'm officially giving my informed consent for this operation. Celia goes back to ogling the tank. She hadn't even said anything to consent to yet. Oh, alright. And I suppose you didn't need to listen if you didn't wish, or if you don't wish to. I'd still like to know what's going on. It's gonna happen. Yes, of course. She clears her throat. Firstly, this is the stress test, a diagnosis procedure to evaluate the heart's function under the stress with the addition of its implantable cardioverter. Secondly, this is an examination on pathos. Hold on, pathophysiology. I know what that is. I know how to say it. I just oh pathophysiology. Okay, next, I'll assess if anything in the prototype body needs to be immediately overhauled. In the context of this exam, there would be any signs of ailment that would impair the range of its current capabilities, but the abnormalities may be present in other places. That was really weird. There's a ghost in my room. It's been here for a couple days now, and I don't have the I don't have the time to delete those, so I'll just leave them. For instance, the cybernetic body will perform with a correlated state with the motor skills that already exist in your head, or a processor which reorders your calendar and neural behavior within obedience with the organic mind-body corresponds. You could see the result as a mechanical body being proficient at recreation by observation, or perhaps reordering internal or external observations in the function to match their attitudes. It's somewhat of an exchange between the two. Adele's body, cyber moves through. Attempted action executed by a neuron set. Brain perseveres and decides. Adele's body moves through electricity through neurons. Okay. Where was I? Blah, blah, blah. So the balance in the fight physiology is the result of how well the prototype synthetics adapt to the strength of the organic parts. There's been no outright visual extremities in the last 24 hours, though outright physical activity has been minimal. As such, the best way is to test its limit would be in a controlled environment like so. And with you awake, we can better understand the relationship between intended movement to actual reaction. for the ideal reaction. I promise I won't torture you with exams. As long as this one goes well, I may not need to do another detailed examination until the completion of your planned body. I am listening. For the radio signals aren't as accurate as a wired connection, I don't want to cut corners when it comes to the intricacies of the human body. Any variable, just decimal or I, could cause them an exponential chain of issues. When working with the heart and the brain, it's especially prudent. So I'll need to reattach the wires from the tank to get the exact data. Seriously? Yes. Any questions? Where do you get that photo? Where did you get that photo? You don't care for it. Nah, it's not that. I think it's a great shot. Isn't it? I don't mind my markings. I had it laminated, and this is a dry erase marker. Gotcha. No worries, then. Wait a minute. Are we getting a little off task? You put a what in me? After your penultimate I don't know why. I still can't read these words. I know them, but I don't think of saying it until now. Penultimate loss of conscious. You sustain heavy blood loss. That heart of yours is working overtime for a long while as it was recovered. Even after the full restoration of your brain and organs, you developed a form of bradycardia during your recovery stage. The pacemaker operation was necessary when monitoring the preservation of your vitals. Okay. This is likely the most mundane augmentation to your organic parts. A device like this is not uncommon. This is not uncommon in the general public. Millions of people every year are surgically given pacemakers due to health-related complications. I see. What's the big idea? I get the need for my yearly physical, but it seems to me that you already dialed in the cyber movement stuff. I'm not sure if I catch your meaning. Why would you go through the effort of trying to link up my normal parts with the ears instead of just attaching more fake limbs? I mean, you're skilled enough to hand-make cybernetic prosthetics, so why not just scrap all the organic complications for your science fair project? Because that would be a hurling straight into a dead end. She looks a little offended. There can be no human without soma. We do not witness bodily response in every facet of life. Are we not conditioned by our lived experiences, built brick by brick by subtle environmental changes? It's impossible to live without the human condition. My task is to restore Adele. Thus, her entire body must be involved in any enactment, all the way down to our DNA specifics. If it is indeed your mind controlling your movements, there can be no other way. What am I even supposed to make of that deranged dogma? It's increasingly difficult to understand the precedent that it's not for me in the end. Celia. What's she doing here? She was giving her informed consent to the exam as a close friend. But we already did that part. Okay, then. I can both watch out for the visual extremity as well, connecting the body's hardware to the system. This will go a lot smoother with the aid of an assistant. She's no nurse, though. Wouldn't someone more qualified be better suited for the job? I don't have any contacts in the medical industry. That would leak my information to the government. Maybe she's got a point there, but something still doesn't really add up. Pariah, that's pariah. She sighs reluctant. As you know, I can evaluate your vitals remotely from the radio frequency signals sent from certain parts inside the prototype. This memory function can record episodes when, for instance, your heart raced, misbehaved, or is otherwise irregular. It includes timestamps of such occasions that are stored in memory. In the process of restoring your brain, the most intense procedure was brainstem itself, which has most likely or almost been heavily mechanically augmented. As such, your brain is connected to the prototype body in a way that takes more advantage of the brainstem's processing capacity than an entirely organic human's brain. But as it's based on computer technology, the read and write feature that is present in a disk drive that transforms the magnetic field off the disk platter into an electric current and vice versa travels through your hippocampus long-term memory and between the body and various interconnected flash memory chips that support the other functions. To create one capable of running a human's mind, it had to be acutely optimized to compensate for the massive amount of data circulating every nanosecond. The current structure uses magnetor elements which are capable of reading magnetic pulses very reliably. But the same upgrade was impossible for the writing feature. Brainstem, all right. Because of this disconnect, there's a 0 chance the data received as stress signals could become corrupted as it is processed to be sent to the heart, but a streamlined renal cortex has been replaced by the injection process. They'll still produce norepinephrine, which will cause users to feel stress, which in turn will demand a heavier blood flow, and thus the upper and lower ventricles might not coordinate in time to produce enough blood to compensate. So true. But that won't be an issue. Everything is working. You're alive, so it's fine. Okay, I just want to say, I don't know if I said this before, but I'm like, I've said it at some point, but I'm like super dyslexic, and I'm like uber dyslexic. It is bad, but I'm trying my best. Also, I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but I can't really read that well if I don't cross my legs. I have to be sitting crisscross, you know. I guess to read or focus, or when I play games, I crisscross. When I do anything, I pretty much just crisscross. So if my leg goes numb, I'm sorry. I might go like, what the hell? But since your awakening yesterday, the only time your approximate stress levels weren't in a heightened state was when you were with Celia, and it was perfectly steady around midnight when I noticed your absence. So in order to minimize the risk on this procedure, Celia is present. So essentially, whenever I was away from Miriam, I was calm enough to fall into a critical condition. All right, I'm starting to understand some of the issues, but Celia clearly wasn't a planned part of this procedure. Aren't you just making shit up on the fly? It's important that there's a trusted witness for the medical procedure. In case something happens, wouldn't you prefer someone with similar genetics to be your donor? Huh? Celia, come here. Woof woof. What's that supposed to mean? I guess it probably doesn't make much of a difference. But if Celia still has Arbiter genetics, her hyperimmune system, superhuman recovery, and enhanced biology, did that have to be taken into account when I was restored? Or maybe that's the entire point. Are you ready to begin? Sure. She becomes quiet. I'm not sure what she's prompting me to do or say or do. The only one who gets the hint, surprisingly, is... Okay, Adele, go ahead and strip. Really, Celia? Really, Celia, Adele, you only need to remove your top for the procedure. I can do it too if you want. No, don't do that. I decide that the less I think about it, the better. They're both staring. Miriam collects my sweater and retreats behind me. You'll need to maintain a good posture if possible, Celia. Tell me if there's any sudden dilation. Watch for perspiration. Keep track of the monitor and tell me her temperature and heart rate immediately if anything arises. My shoulders are suddenly held in place. Yes, ma'am. I brush Celia's hands off. I guess Miriam was serious about the assistant thing. The first thing we'll do is establish a connection from the system to your artificial spinal cord. Adele, you want to hold my hand? No. Well, why not? I don't need an emotional support animal. I'm not an... She tilts her head to the left. Well, that's a lot of wires. What are you talking about? Ah. There's a dense pressure in my jugular, as if a wrench had been tightening around it. It doesn't hurt, and it hasn't blocked any airflow. Seems like the cord's been attached. Very good. Thank you. Are you in any pain? No. When did you be so nervous, Adele? I'm not nervous. She bows her head and peers at my lips, which tighten on reflex. But you're salivating a lot, Adele, and it's really thick. I can hear it in your voice. You don't need to check inside Adele's mouth. Please just watch the vital display for any abnormalities. Here, can you hold my hand? If it'll stop you from saying weird shit like that. She makes a bit of a rapturous chirp. I offer my hand, but she's already grabbing for the mechanical one with both of hers. She raises it against her cheek. Okay, Miriam. I'll prepare to watch the screen now. We'll be connecting the two of the brainstem. One to monitor brain activity with more detail, while the other is for potential chemical imbalances in motion. Consequential to the brain operations, there are two depressions behind your head. The axis points to the cerebellum and amygdala. I thought that said oh my god yesterday, but with nanomachines and the X-ray technology. I follow every harrowing word, hoping to connect a single phrase to the justification of the surrender. Say, Adele, do you remember what day is my birthday? Of course I remember your birthday. That sounds like something someone who doesn't remember my birthday would say. It's on... There's a blunt pulse inside my throat, like something got shoved through it, and I got no gag reflex. I glare at Celia, a gleeful expression spreads across her face. Celia, could you hold on to this cord? Miriam, my hands are busy. Well, give it to me. Thank you. Celia's got my left hand in both of hers, and my right's been used as a pack mule for cords. Hey Adele, what's my middle name? If you're just trying to distract me again, it's not going to work. Something pops in my brain and static fizzles through the folds. The sensation causes me to bow my head a little. Keep your eyes on me, Adele. When I raise my head, it feels like there's a rock formation budding out from my skull. Whoa, your pupils are super big. My vision bobs a little, and there's a painful fireworks display smearing my peripheral vision. Are you holding up okay? If there's any discomfort, I'll just keep going. Alright then. That's the 3 of 10, so I can't imagine the rest won't go without a hitch. There's 7 more. We'll proceed with the connections to the monitor, or to monitor the physiology and track movement changes specifically. We'll begin with your right side and your shoulder blades, and then another in the mechanical forearm. I'd like to call this situation a purgatory, as I idly stand by for my post-death staticky judgment. The only difference is where my soul would have been cleansed with fire. Here is by an entirely different set of sensations. The insertion itself only stings a little, conjuring the image of a needle through my 3rd and 4th rib in my mind, and a cloud of numbness that seemed to discharge it around it. Next, it feels the same, but it shocks me the realization that there should be no possibility of anything, considering where the insertions are. What? Now it's time for the left side. Insert one in your forearm again, and one into your leg. There's a plug in my organic limb. I really wasn't this bad at reading yesterday. I don't know what's happening today. I'm just a little lost. In the process of syncing your organic functions to the mechanical ones, there seems to be alterations to your nerve endings. She really patched me up, huh? I catch Celia finally doing her job, watching the monitor, but as soon as I look to her, she turns back to me, and begins massaging my artificial hand, kneading at the gray palms with the tips of her fingers and caressing the top of mine with her thumb. The site doesn't have the opportunity to do anything for me, but whenever I let warmth do its job as subduing my anxiety, I hear Miriam's heel the next instant, and the side of her gloved hand brush against back of my back. Another thing is I always, for some reason, I read really fast ahead of where I'm actually speaking, so that's probably why I stutter a lot. So I need to just slow down, I think. Whenever I flinch, Celia's eyes track mine with acute precision, as if she's explicitly telling me to gaze her, or her gazes can join with mine. What a terrible lie. There's a prick, a hair-thin needle poking my skin. Unlike a normal shot, it feels like it sinks all the way through my flesh, through the bone, and out the other side. I can't tell if what I'm feeling is an imagination or not. I instinctively turn to look, and am immediately interrupted. Adele, make sure you keep your eyes open and look at me. I have a job to do, you know. She moves her right hand to wipe something away from my mouth, turns my chin straight. Don't clench your jaw either. It's bad for your teeth. In stark contrast to her description, I realize only now that I have to let go of the wire that I was gripping. I recall Miriam tugging on it some time ago, though I'm not sure when or where it's currently located. Another plug, as if a cord has been struck and sent vibration through my arm. But the shake doesn't beat my resolve to hold fast in front of Celia, or rather, to not give her reason to open her mouth again. I continue to stand firm and meet with her eyes, as my vision's occupied, but all my other senses are consumed by the anxiety of the abyss and the intermediate puzzles that are happening behind my back. Have they always been this green, though? Thoughts like that seep into every now and then, an attempt to impede the blinding state of carnal instability, consuming my head as it's being attached to my body to be tested, as if my senses themselves are keeping secrets from me. Come to think of it, I have yet to see my new backside. Picturing a circuit board with the insertions and outlets that would suit this situation feels wrong, but the image of a human back seems worse. From my prior observations, I know my stomach wires stem from behind my back, so I know there must be some kind of receptacle that they all come from. But of course, I do not know where from. I just wanted to show this because I just thought it was sick. I've leaned against flat surfaces and been able to lie suspended on the bed. But these things don't reassure me in the slightest. The image that better suits this student might be a dugout canoe with a collection of holes in its or keel, or a jack-o'-lantern the day after Halloween. Even a vacant seashell seems more in line, where a human's anatomy is too warm to be true and the machine feels too cold and sinister. A hollow shell. All I know is that it cuts off to an abyss of feeling an abyss of unfeeling beneath my chest, but I'm not exactly sure where I and the end machine begins. Miriam's hand lands on my bow seat. I mean, my shoulder, which causes me to jump to my attention. Another insertion in my right arm, but the vibration lances down my legs instead. There's a flash, a rush of nerves that inhabit it. No, wait, is that the real one, or the fake one? My whole body threatens to shake. I got a nasty cold. At this point, the only thing going on in my head is the attempt to find a single reason why I need to be awake for this. Look at me, Adele. There you go. She wiped something from beneath my eye. You're so tough, Adele. Not even breaking a sweat. Really? Look on her face now. What's there to even say? That's not exactly an expression that humans can make. It's completely gone neutral. Her eyes have mellowed in a way that it's as if nothing's going on at all. As if I wasn't even here. You'd think her stoicism would be reassuring, but it feels like the opposite. She's completely apathetic to her situation, even though in her peripherals, Miriam's handiwork is at play. How are you feeling, Adele? The final two wires will only optimize the recording device, but they are certainly not required. If you're feeling any discomfort or have any objections, just get it over with. Alright then. The other place is your spinal cord, and your tailbone will be attached to the system. And suddenly, all of my senses are suspended in the air. As something blitzes through it, it blooms within me, my entire human nervous system. The body has been purged of any instructions. It's visible and it's palpable, striking and detecting and absorbing itself. It flutters out the other end of me, all the way to the ceiling, where it is left completely vulnerable, free from Are free to gain infinite virtues. Treasures me with incomparable fleeting value before it retreats into heaven. No, wait. There's nothing there at all. I must have made some kind of reaction there. Though Celia's face gives me no indication. She might be holding my hand a little tighter, but her fingers are red from my grip. Ah, how hard have I been squeezing her? I attempt to retract my hand in place of an apology, but she tugs it back. I could be imagining it. There's a subtle satisfaction that has made its way into her eyes. Alright, this is the last one, Miriam told. Miriam's tone hasn't exhausted in the slightest, which I realize I only expect since I'm suddenly at a loss for any strength. I brace for the insertion, nonetheless, and bite my tongue. Yunk. And the cord slides into my arm without any purchase. Your movements are now being recorded and uploaded to the system. Good work. But still, please let me know if any oddities arise. I anticipate an aftershock, but only there's a pinch of frustration. I find that I was eager for that sensation again, if only for a chance to describe it. An inch now left unscratched. I can't tell anything different. Perfect. Step onto the platform if you would. Celia smiles and lets go of my hand. Both arms fall limp at once. I feel a vacancy on either side of me. Miriam crosses in front of me to study the monitor herself. I'll be waiting right out there, Adele. She leaves promptly. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be looking at now. I stare at the treadmill with a feeling in my heart. I can only describe as disappointment. If you believe it would cause discomfort during activity, you may remove your skirt and leggings too. You'll be walking at a consistent pace for 3 minutes, after which you will feel a slight incline. Okay. As you can see, this is how we'll be monitoring the body's cohesion as a whole. The variables represent how the limbs are moving and how acutely they've been synced to the movement unison. But look about where she points. A gesture only to herself. My instincts guided by the slightest of pressure. There's a large scale of numbers that can change in accordance with my movements. The strings of digits seem to fluctuate slightly, even when I'm not moving at all. There's also several waveforms and an X-ray of of a human figure with no bones in their right arm, lower abdomen, and left leg. The target is 85% of your maximum heart rate. For the most accurate results, we'll go for as long as you can. Until then, this is an overclock. Do not exert yourself past what you're comfortable with. If you feel any pain or shortness of breath, let me know immediately. I begin walking on reflex as I feel a machine churn beneath me. It's a slow crawl, like a leisurely walk. This is it. I could do this for hours. It's not about impressing anyone. I watch the screen, attempting to decipher what variables are related to each step. The digits themselves are slightly hypnotizing, but staring at the scribbles is starting to cause nausea, so I droop my head towards my legs. I then isolate my two distinct legs, studying how they work as I walk. They're kind of indistinguishable. My left leg, the senseless one, moves on command, or on reflex, with the treadmill's pace. It keeps up my organic leg with every step. They're working together. I peer closer. One of them is built with carbon and steel and resin, the other from oxygen and bone marrow, etc. So this is what I can see with the flesh on both jiggle slightly whenever it hits the floor. 3 minutes is up. You'll feel a gradual incline in a slightly faster pace. Already? When Miriam increases the speed, it adapts to an object of free thought, yet it follows the demands of the machine that she's controlling. No, it's only doing what I tell it to. What Miriam is telling it to do. I thought I was just imagining it, but my chest is tightening a bit. Too much to ignore. I can feel something circulating in my chest and my skin getting warmer. This feels quite like a jump in workload. Hang in there. There doesn't seem to be any abnormalities, and the engine is holding up well, too. How are you feeling? Are you in any pain? This is nothing. Since when was walking so difficult? My feet begin to drag behind, each other, I focus on exerting more weight into each step, making sure my feet keep up with the colliding perpendicular force of the treadmill. I'm growing acutely aware of this body's potential. My legs are connected to this artificial hip bone by nothing but metal hinges, and yet something tells me I couldn't bend past an angle at that, or an angle of that my original leg could. It's when I focus on how the artificial knee bends that I completely come to grips with Miriam's explanation. I'm not just a collection of high-spec prosthetics. It's an immaculate replica of my proportions, a transfigured carbon copy with all the extras for appearance. And by the way I'm walking, it's more exact than I really care to understand. Sorry, some quick water. How did you manage that? Another 3 minutes has passed. You're doing well. You'll feel the speed increase again in a few seconds. This is the final interval, okay? It's doing well. It moves as a mean to an end. It works and walks, receives blood flow from my heart to create data on the monitor before her eyes, uses my life force to carry out a task for the sake of a larger whole. Maybe it's not a machine. Maybe there's more humanity than I thought, but it's a tool. It seems like you've gone over the target heart rate. I notice her point at something on the screen in the corner of my eye, but I don't raise my hand or my head this time. I can keep going. We'll end this examination in 10 seconds. Keep walking until it comes to a full stop, okay? I am in control. I can choose how I move my body. In the same vein, I control this one too. Don't I? I can keep going. That would be unwise. Huh? Don't worry. This is plenty helpful. You did just fine. Helpful? Just fine? Pardon me for a few seconds. I'll come back to help you detach the wires momentarily. It's done. Miriam's already egressed past the curtain. If I wish to contort this body into impossible shapes, if I willed it to break itself, would it be my human mind that stops me, or the steel bones itself? No. Is my new body too able to be used? Uh, my head throbs. Miriam hasn't returned, even after I have studied my breathing. Soon after, I hear the soft footsteps of a clueless girl ducking through the hanging wires as it means to approach me. Don't touch me. Oh, you're still doing it? I'm done. Oh, well, that's okay. You did great. I try to laugh at this joke, but I'm breathless. Me? Really? Of all people? Those 3 minutes were completely drained me. Seems like it was pretty rough, huh? I bet you aced it. It wasn't rough. I just had to stop. That's how the test worked. This confession to myself piles on more shame, and I feel a pinprick of what I remember to be fear again because I'm sure she's sickened by me now. You got through it, though, right? Celia, I stripped in front of her. I'm sorry. What? I couldn't quite catch that. I loosened my clutch on the handlebar. I was clinging during the test before letting go completely. Never mind. Celia's been acting this way because she's thankful I was brought back to life, because she was able to see me again, because she pities me, because she's trying to ignore what an embarrassment this really is. I'll wait with you here until Miriam comes back, and we can unhook everything. I seem to have grabbed the handles of the treadmill again. I let my arms hang and stare at the floor. That's my best friend. That's Celia, my girl. She was always going to be, or she was always going to be. She was supposed to be because she was the one who always made me feel like my own woman. But not anymore. She thought I was dead for years. In her mind, the real me was too weak to live as Adele was supposed to. The look in her eyes told me she already knows. She thinks of strangers as vermin for much less. So of course, she blames me for not being too strong enough to kill Atlas without killing myself in the process, exposing just how pathetic I have always been. But she just smiles at me, hugs me, and praises me without hesitation. She might as well be punching me in the jaw. Ah, my right hand has not left the bar. Celia is saying something, and I wish I was listening, but I'm focused on something else. I try to move my hand again, but it doesn't respond. Celia, stop talking. Celia, stop talking for a second, will you? This time I was really trying to picture my hand letting go in my brain. It's never been difficult to control, right? Nothing. Adele? Panic, she knows me now. My last resort is to try to pry off the robotic fingers from the bar by burrowing my left hands between them. They still won't give. Now someone's pouring sand into my brain. Static makes my vision cross. My mouth hangs open and my bottom lip quivers. My eyes are dry even after I blink. I've forgotten how to move entirely. My throat goes taut and my knees buckle below me. Hey, Adele. I choke as these new sensations jolt through my body. I want to empty my stomach, and the thought that it'd be impossible to do so makes me want it even more. Through it all, I'm no longer scared. Why? I push through this docility to struggle to think I'm being held. Propped up? By who? Coherent thoughts and ebb and disappear after a second of recollection. I want to clutch Celia's arm. I spend all my strength on this remaining action, yet my grip on her slips and my free arm hangs limp. I'm so cold. I get it. I'm dying. Whatever rotten human remains tries to reject this epiphany. I've been fighting my primal instincts since I stepped foot onto these wretched tiles last morning. My mammal brain clings to my life, but I know deep down that my urge to survive should never go as far as to submit to all these indignities. I feel a second presence behind me. No. Get away. Soon even the sound of my artificially steady heartbeat drowns in the static engulfing my skull. My consciousness staggers before it all goes black. Celia, let go. No, you can't take her away from me again. Okay, so from here is I'm a little, not like a little, I'm quite a bit ahead of this, but I'm gonna stop now, catch my breath, and then I'm gonna read more later. Or not like later, but like in a little bit. So let me save this. Don't look at those. I'm gonna blur these out in the ones at the beginning, so you don't see what's going on here, but I'll be back in just a little bit, okay? For you it'll be instant, but for me it'll be a little bit. I'm just gonna, you know, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. It is more Adele time. So, hello, Adele. I was just looking for you. Here I am. By the time I left Lavandula's office, there was still enough time for me to walk the Eden Bridge hallways with the sun on my back. What I didn't expect was a rosy chance encounter. I didn't think I'd get the chance to see you today, but they did. But did they let you off early? They were wrapping up early today, so they didn't need my help. Gotcha. Did you know Ed Jigazika Atlas Sega Rosen? That's what they named it this time. Yeah, pretty wacky stuff. I wonder how they got those crazy names, right? I wouldn't know. I don't have a good response for that. Despite what she had just said about seeking me out, Celia has been staring behind my ear this whole time. Your ribbon's in. Are you planning on going out somewhere? Or are we just occupied with something else? Hey, maybe I just want to wear it today. It looks good on me. But you tend to always look good, so what's the occasion? Finally gonna propose? I just might. I'm that bored. She flashed an empty smile, like she tried to laugh, but couldn't. She looks so good in this. All right. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty swamped, so I'm gonna head out. I'll see you tomorrow. Who said that? I said that. I am not even gonna. I'm not even gonna hide it. I produced a theatrical yawn and stretch, too exaggerated for a zero reaction she's giving, but it's enough to make the 3 paces between us seamless. Though enough. When you fight them, do you get hints as to why? What they really want? She's grabbed me by my shoulder. Yeah, I answer bracely and brush her off. They want the annihilation of Earth and all of its people, if you could even call it that. They're parasitic invaders, aberrations. The annihilation of humanity, you say? And all it'll take is for the Earth to spin away from the sun to open a portal from space. It's at its closest point, relevant to the particular stations on Earth. Do you understand how stupid that sounds? I turn to hear her out. The speech is surely leading somewhere, and my fuse is running short. If that was all there was to it, don't you think they could have ended the world countless times over? Besides, if something like that was bound to happen, I'd want to witness it with my own eyes. You want to watch the disaster? Have you seen, or have you even thought about what's in store for us afterwards, after this ultimate mission? I don't know. We'll move to a retirement home or something. I didn't think you'd waste my time mulling over what ifs. And what if Atlas isn't the final aberration? Then I'll kill every other one. I know you would. No matter what, you'll do whatever it takes to please her. You'd think her a sadist, considering how she knows the exact ways to get under my skin. Her bitterness has a palpable from the start of this conversation. I'm regretting having considered saying goodbye to her at all. You know what? Ever since you started working in that lab, you've been getting on my nerves. I grudgingly shake my head and use it as an excuse to break eye contact. If you truly believe this was all a conspiracy, what's with the sudden existential crisis? It's not sudden. This is a question you've run from your whole life. She's still trying to hold my eye. Or she's still trying to hold my eye. Mortification upon her confession won't give me the strength to return it. What has become of all of this? Really, haven't you lost more than you've gained? It doesn't matter. It's my mission. Why are you approaching me about this now? I'd normally be ashamed to snap back over something so stupid, but I'm pissed off with how desperate I sound. In case you forgot, I protected you from having to do it this whole time. You have no reason to fear. I've never once failed. So you could get shipped across the country away from me? Whatever they assign you, and you live your life. Come back with stories of all the amazing stuff you did on your own. Don't act like you're the innocent one here. You haven't told me once what they're going to do to you in that, or what they're going to do to you in that facility you've been benched at. We'll talk about this when I get back. It'll all be over so we can be together forever, or whatever. Hey, how about this? Let's get married. When you come back, stop saying like you don't believe. Well, I already told you, Lavandula, that I was leaving alone. I finally muster up something like courage, and it allows me to witness in real time the face of someone looking death in the eyes. I promised her that I'd kill Atlas. She said it'll be my last mission. So let up with this bullshit and let me go. Upon what bullshit? You're the one still buying falsehoods from that old woman. Her voice quivers, but still doesn't break. Tell me, what's the point of it all? Trapped in this place, who knows what'll really happen when the aberration comes? Thousands of people will die. Cities will be destroyed. What about that you don't get? Or don't you get? Disaster was before either of us were conscious. It would be fabricated. I'll even prove it to you. What is wrong with you? I'd be embarrassed for raising my voice if there were anyone left to hear us. You take the chance to live thousands of one. I'm sorry. You take the chance of the lives of thousands in one night based on a hunch. Yes. Unyielding. It's the first time in years I've seen her true spirit shine, and she's willing it to fight against me with delusion. I knew idle hands were the devil's playground, but who knew he'd cause Celia's brain to rot? Humans have destroyed things, steal and kill too, and we still live on. It takes me a few seconds to get over my bewilderment to respond. Okay, the danger that aberrations pose has been proven countless times over. I've been sent to hunt down them every month, or every other month. There's no reason for Lavandula to lie, and if nothing else, we do it because we're grateful to her. She laughs a short and brittle laugh. Grateful? Who's grateful? You, me, all other arbiters. She raised us. We're nothing but... we were nothing, and she taught us how to be strong, or recite it like it's a mantra. I thought you respected that. Strong? Maybe. Nothing before, sure. She rings out every other word. And now they're all dead. Don't act like you don't know. I narrow my eyes, but she's right. Gradually, she seems to say unconditionally. A strong soldier knows death in combat was supposed to be glorious, but glory is supposed to be fulfilling. I'd protected Edenbridge, but once I returned, another Arbiter always disappeared. The next day, their rooms would clear out or lock up, and I'd never hear Levendula say their names again. We alone carry the memories of our friends like echoes in a place that seemed to forget that they ever existed. Death is not honorable. It was a punishable offense. Celia is banking on the chance that that it's unavoidable too. Oops, I hit the scroll wheel. I'm different. I'm grasping at straws. I'm stronger than they all were several times over. I'm stronger than you too. So whatever you do, try not to get me to stay. I won't let up. Then let me come with you. An end will come to it all, inevitably. If I have a choice, I don't want to lose the future I have with the woman I love. Let's end it all. You and me, it's only fair. Fine. I grab her hand, but it's limp. For all she said about loving me, I'd at least hope that'd mean she'd hold mine, too. Show me what you got, but you have to straighten up your room before we leave. Them's the rules. Wait, okay. This is actually where I cut myself off. So now I'm right here. So I don't know what's going on past this. So now we're doing this together. All right. Neither of us closed the door behind us. There'd be no point with how empty the dormitory halls are. It'd take days for someone to pass by and invade our privacy. I sit on our bed, elbows on my knees, and head hung. The clock chimes against the repetition of my briefing tour, and each second reminds me of how much I'd rather be preparing to fight alone. A fight that would confirm her safety, and the safety of the larger human psyche. You'll be stationed here. She scattered her back against the wall across from me. That doesn't really follow the trend of the previous missions. Wouldn't Delta Station be where the aberration will touch down this time? I shake my head. The desert here has the least risk of there being any collateral off base. Besides, the terrain is the least of your worries. No, this is entirely irrelevant detail. She just keeps going on. You're much smaller than an aberration, and won't be able to use the terrain to your advantage, unlike it, who will have almost infinite visibility now. How would you even know? This crow carries more disdain than I would ever have liked. I'm forced to take my eyes off the floor. Because I've seen Atlas with my own two eyes. Indignation subsumes her malice quickly, but I recognize it before she manages to hide it. Unlike all your weak, pathetic girlfriends who couldn't fight to save their own skin, I live to tell the tale. My whole life I've given Celia the title of my best friend, so how come when I'm potentially on the brink of it, she's so insistent on pushing my buttons? I was never the one who denied your abilities, alright? Don't get bent out of shape because I'm getting sent on someone else's suicide mission. I jump to my feet. I shove my finger into her collarbone and practically spit in her face. You clearly don't have a clue what it's like to fight these things. So when you make one strong step and feel tendons peeling off your soon to be corpse one by one, you'll wish the world did end long ago. You'll be fucking sorry. She tightens her lips and furrows her brow, but has no audible response. My red vision clears slightly to reveal the organized bookshelf full of DVDs behind her head. I recognize every single one of one from the graphic on the spine because we watched them all together right in this room. Some of them multiple times because I'd be damned if there was anything else for us to do in our spare time. All those terrible romance plots we sat through must be rolling in my subconscious right now because I'm thinking this overflowing tension might result in her falling into my arms in tears, and how we'll end up making passionate love that two girls like us are supposed to do on the brink of departure. But how much of an ass I am making myself out to be. registers in the instant she grabs my arm and pushes me stumbling halfway across the room. If you want to kill Atlas so bad, go ahead. But if you want to know the truth, then meet me at Delta Station. I don't turn around fast enough to watch her shape exit the room. I decide that was a sign of the last time I'll ever see Celia Rangrid. Apologies are for those with weak convictions. If you act upon your pride, you move forward with a lifted chin and don't look back. I lied that day, and left Eden Bridge alone, and ran after the only world I believed in. I ran towards Atlas, and I swore over and over again that I wouldn't stop until I tore its life from its shell. I won't deny that Celia's worries weren't misplaced, but she's dead wrong to think that there's a chance of failure. So I have no regrets that our parting was there, because the only thing I fear is what comes next after fulfilling every expectation. And even after I'd saved the world, I'd be forced to confront an even larger threat, the burden of Celia Rangrid's broken heart. As of right now, I've wholly devoted myself to the ideology that the heroes work best alone. When I return, I'll come up with a better excuse. I'm an arbiter. A human, still lustful but only adverse to love. Still fallible but unable to fail, because our hidden instincts shed our human skin to warn us of the larger threat. Aberrations that would tear the sky apart if not our own, or for my own action. Not for my action. Sometimes the number 2 slot on my list would vacate after the girl. sorry. I heard someone outside my room. What's it? Okay, sorry. Someone's pacing around my room, and it was quite annoying. But sometimes that's why I've been studying quite a bit. I've been focusing a little bit on it. But sometimes the number 2 slot on my list would vacate after the girl I fucked around with for a month or 3 whenever I was stationed elsewhere would get sick of me. So I just find someone else to put there. If anything was gained in the last hour, maybe I convinced Celia Rangrid that she's too good to be only second place. Rubbing my hands evilly. Yay. Okay, in a life where I wasn't an arbiter, I wouldn't have questioned for a second that Celia Rangrid always loved me the most. And after I destroyed Atlas, I hope Celia makes better friends. I hope she lives as the humans do, free of bullshit like duty or nightmares of demons, and balancing humanity's fate on the tip of a blade. I want her, if anything, if anything, to regret the times she wanted to be a soldier, so that she'll live the real life that she's always deserved. Because I know damn well that, when she will never speak with me again. A little worried. Alright, here we go. My consciousness returns to unprovoked. I wonder if the human mind ever agrees to a waking state, but it's knee-jerk reaction of my cognitive functions that alert me to a presence. There's someone looking down at me. I sense her frustration from the way her pen is clicking. I can picture her crooked grimace almost as if I could see her usual candid expressions, and yet I know nothing about her. It irks me that I can tell what Miriam's doing. One day, she's already knee-deep in my head, and then where I'm lying supine on the couch in her living room. Adele, she acknowledges me, but I must have opened my eyes at some point. I lurch upright, somehow feeling like I owe her a gesture to notify her that I'm actually alive, but I refuse to face her. I can spare to see the pity that surely covers her face. Never mind. It's nice to know that I can move again, but I guess she didn't want me to. Why? Single vague word hangs useless in the air. It's a weak, childish question, but I'd still like to know. I didn't factor in the potential dangers like a failsafe activating during the course of the exam. I'm sure this girl has answers and more. I'm just far less sure she'll be willing to share them without making me solve her fucked up doctoral riddles again. Where's Celia? She went home. I told her I'd take it from here. What else did you tell her? Nothing. She didn't care to listen. Makes sense. The facade of who was only, or who I was doing nothing for, of who I was, or I was, does nothing for me. But vitiate my remaining pride. And not only that, I'm sure I pictured Celia being upset with Miriam for the wrong reason. If I were in her shoes, I'd prefer that I stay dead. Not to say that she didn't care for you, of course. If I hadn't come in right away, I'm sure she would have carried you to me. I'm sure she would have. I probably don't weigh much. No, even in your prototype artificial body, your weight distribution is similar to that of your original body. Fascinating. I clear my throat. So, you came to rescue me? I wouldn't call it a rescue. I expect you're not as dead as you thought, or as you sound. I hope not. This is excruciating. If only making conversation could do its usual job of masking the shameful atmosphere that lines every corner of this house. What matters is now that you're alright. Miriam lowers her clipboard and leans closer, made an attempt to move on. Not that you were in any serious danger to begin with. Wasn't I? Of course not, she replies plainly. What occurred was only a slight hardware mix-up, but this fail-safe procedure prevented any prominent damage. I begin to wonder what do not exert your past what you're comfortable with, even meant to begin with. Miriam knows nothing about me, but my medical cadaver, her idea of what I'm capable of is loosely connected awful of a person who had much energy that exerting yourself was a phrase with no meaning. Now then, she stands up and circles around to the other side of the coffee table. Give me your hand. What? You did some damage to the prosthetic by jerking around earlier. It'd be best if I repaired the damage as soon as possible. It'd be the safest course of action to prevent a similar issue. Miriam squints and close at my robotic hand. She thumbs at the joints, buffing at the scrapes and dents caused from merely a day's use. It looks like she's fixing a toy. In hindsight, the immaculate replication of your movements blinded me from so many potential issues. Of course, I could have kept closer supervision, but I didn't foresee this happening. Well, what did happen? She feels the center of the screwdriver, causing a loose piece to fall onto the table. It rolls around on the surface before disappearing into the jungle of loose papers and the upturned books. I have somewhat of a grasp on your matter now. She feels around the littered table for the loose screws, figuratively speaking. Yesterday you said that you plan on making me look human. I take the initiative even if I can hardly choke out the words. A healthy human's arm doesn't lock up whenever they sweat for a few minutes. And I assume your end goal wasn't to repair me every time. It wasn't because you were exerting yourself. During that activity, there's interface with the myoelectric systems in your arm. You're gonna need to throw me a bone. Sorry, let me start over. When your body was recovered 5 years ago, your right arm was entirely severed, save for a few sporadic nerve endings and muscle fibers. To recreate the functions of an entirely new human arm, the first order of business was to hook up sensors from those remaining nerves and establish a new connection to your brain by way of electronics output signals. From there, your muscle memory informed me on how to rig the prosthetic as if it never knew the arm had gone. Alright, I was looking at this for a second. My memory? That process followed the restoration of your brain. You know, when you do something over and over again, like riding a bike or picking up a glass of water, the repetition consolidates certain movements to your subconscious so that you don't even think about it when you do them anymore. Luckily, the frontal lobe had minimal damage. We put it under various forms of stimuli that would coerce from the same procedural memory into executing a specific motor task with what would be your right arm. You forced me to move? The stimuli would trigger a pattern of nerve reactions, which translated to commands for prosthetic and now automatic execution. With all the data that program for the operating system of your body, your right arm contains enough memory for virtual infinite situations. How long did this take? Good question, she replies, eyes fixed on the circuitry. And these tests didn't alter my brain chemistry in any way. No, it shouldn't have. The frequency of the stimuli was similar to having a dream in a light sleep stage. So yes, there were intense operations on your brain. It was necessary to keep you alive. Without them, you wouldn't be able to move. I'm still reeling from a sudden onslaught of information. It's hard to believe but it's not like I can throw some alternative theory her way. The sensors all take place in your synovial joint. She nods at the steel ball connecting to the metal arm to my shoulder. The target reaction time was faster than the organic sensory registry. It took some time to get the processing time for a single movement beneath 10 milliseconds, but its cutting-edge performance is now very clear. I won't let her revel in pride as much as she seems to want to. So basically, I'm not even the one who's controlling it. They're still your movements. They're just pre-recorded from the data from the simulations. Now that you're manually executing the commands, the OS will automatically overwrite the current ones in your mind, or if your mind detects something wrong with any specific function. Is it the same thing with my leg? Essentially. I almost expect to feel grateful that Miriam is teaching me these crazy things. It'd be easier if every your or my wasn't a blunt reminder of who's counting on the performance of this junk. So that's what the whole fail-safe procedure was. The arm wouldn't work, so I blacked out until you could fix it. It's true that the arm ceased to function when the sensors shifted out of place, but the cause of the shutdown was the panic that ensued after. The panic? Because of that, the operating system had reached a critical condition where it could no longer function without causing damage to the organic organs. Your body automatically switched to the lowest power processing available. That's a fail-safe procedure. Is that what happened when I blacked out yesterday morning then? The added cognitive dissonance onto the issue of the fragmented stress receivers is the driving force for the complications with healthy standard living. It's not as simple as building a robot or running a computer. Humans work because they can rely on their natural instincts, how they've been conditioned to act as they grow up. No matter how perfect this machine can replicate movements, the fact alone that you're aware it's not your own body causes added stress, an unknown variable that I couldn't approximate. I installed the failsafe as a safety precaution. As soon as your brain was restored, I never wanted to be set off, but I couldn't risk any damage to you. I really didn't want this to happen, but the pacemaker had a risk of not computing the added stress signals from the brain. It was necessary on the off chance you regained consciousness. If only I had more time in order to create sufficient total bypass in the neuro-quantum computer, I need at least 50% more disk space, which is impossible without sacrificing other circuits, which... I know you didn't just start acting like you know how I feel and followed up by saying neuro-quantum computer. Oh, I wasn't trying to. So the problem is that I'm still alive, right? It's not a problem. You've been alive this whole time, after all. This event was a result of the small oversight on my end. I won't let it happen, or it won't happen again. Why? If I had all these problems, did you decide to release me? I just had to. As soon as I saw you awaken from the tank, I knew it was too late, especially now that I have met you and how you've already been reintroduced to the world. I couldn't put you back under. Too cruel. So all those operations, tests over simulations or whatever, all good. No problem. Or no prob. Now, though, I know about it. So all of a sudden, it's inhumane? Am I just not seeing the whole picture here? And you still install the fucking shutdown switch, which would knock me out if I panic. but you refuse to sedate me to get the job done. The sedatives didn't last long to begin with. Also, I can't get a more accurate assessment on what needs to be refined now that you're cognizance, and so it's not even an issue of morality to you. You're just worried that I won't help you enough if I'm all messed up. No, that's not what I'm trying to. She stammers, exhaled, and is instantly confident again. I've gotten this far. I'll make you feel like yourself again, no matter what it takes. There we go. All better. She lets go of the automation hand, and gently rests it on the coffee table. Auto man. I don't know, I just read. We lock eyes for a moment longer, then stare again at the hand. I lift it and curl each finger as pantomimes my life. It's not simple communication between my mind and my body. It's a machine translation of my thoughts to what she's created. Every minute shift formed from an accumulation of data and programming. I raise the other arm in an attempt to compare the two. Both move in unison, connected to the same mind. My head spins as I attempt to separate the natural from synthetic. It's violating. But I move despite it all. I'm alive. Because of it, I wouldn't be able to lift a finger if it wasn't for Miriam's help. And that fact pisses me off. Though, I must say, I'm impressed with your physical capability so far. Just stop. Don't cuddle me. I'm sorry. We both jump at the sound. But what surprises me more is the fact that she has a doorbell, considering how Celia made an entrance this morning. You're expecting someone? Forget it. It's probably just a package. Well, you'll live, she tempts. I'd sure hope so. Aren't you the one who's supposed to keep track of that? Okay. True. But for the rest of the day, we may want to keep physical activity to a minimum. I don't believe I need your help for any specific text now. A minimum, eh? Can I leave? Alright, that felt weird saying together. A minimum, eh? Alright, no, I'd like you to remain outside as much as possible until I complete the next stage of your body. There are too many risk factors at present. And how long will that take? That depends. Did you even get anything from all that? From the physical? Plenty. Thank you for your cooperation, hard work. Not what I meant. You satisfied with getting Celia to realize just how twisted this all is? What? Debauchery like that was never my intention. I happened to need an assistant, and Celia was a good candidate. Yeah, sure. She's a little dense, so it took her a while to realize, but I'm sure after all that, she's disgusted by it all. Celia genuinely wants me, or wants the best for you. She wouldn't be nice if she didn't mean so. Oh, so now you know my friends better than I do? There'd be no reason for her to think any other way. You're a human. This project is about the restoration of your body, not to change it. Right, and humans have blue screens and remote shutdowns, as I understand it. I'll admit I'm pulling your teeth, but it's the only thing I can do or care to do right now. The failsafe is necessary for the preservation of the prototype. I know. You're super post-electronic about high-spec cyber slut Adele Mark II. Mark III. Alright, please don't be Cash. She needs her jacket between her fingers. I know this can't be easy to process, but I only want you to find solace in these explanations. You don't know the half of it. Either way, things will go smoother if you bear with the few guidelines I set. I won't claim to be experienced physician. I'm not. But as I understand now, you seem to be a handful of your own. In an instant, my heart managed to drop lower than the trash on the floor. Hey, I can hear you in there. You forgot about me or something? Pink text? Who could this be? There's a muffled text. There's a muffled voice coming from the outside. So, are you expecting someone? Need me to go hide in my room to keep this little top secret project of yours hidden? No, stay here. It's fine. She feels around the table for my glove, tosses it to me. It slipped my mind that I had a meeting today. A meeting? With who? Just a friend. Don't worry, it won't take long. Really? Yes. Just don't lift your shirt or anything like that. No sharing of sensitive information either. Right. Withholding information, but wait, hasn't that been the one constant since I've met you? Look, okay. Jeez, I knew you were in here. I was about to blast this story down. I think we might be at the 2 hour mark, and I'm gonna save this. I even though I really I really want to read it, but we're gonna save it for another episode. Look at her just staring at us. Go away. Don't go away, but um okay. New episode soon. I know I keep saying that, but I keep getting caught up. And especially since yesterday, oh my god, it pissed me off so much. But there was a I got an email the next day after Kolulu posted on her itch.io, but the Steam version is out, so you can download the demo. I'm not very good with words, I guess, but you download the demo, and I downloaded it the other day, and I'll get around to playing it after I'm done with all of this for now. But I saw there was new stuff, so I'm ready to see this stuff. But for now, I'm going to leave it off here, and I hope everyone's enjoyed watching this, has a good day, a super duper day, or super duper night, and like the video if you want to see more. Well, I mean, I'm gonna put more anyways, but like the video if you like the video, and it'll get this out there more. But I hope everyone's enjoyed. I think I said that already. I hate ending this. All right. Have a super duper day, everyone. Good night or good morning or bye.